Right then, so following on from the last video on the Amarok, which were a couple of days ago, pardon me, we've got all the bushes and everything all sorted. We just need to go out and road test it and see what it feels like and see how things are. So this video, we've already put the rear anti-roll bar on just because it meant I can do things a little bit quicker. But as you can see, I've disconnected one of the drop links. So when we do this road test, you'll be able to see underneath what it's like, how much movement the roll bar's sort of stopping. Not all of it, but you'll see the gap will get wider, the gap will get narrower between the two mounting points, which are, if it's easy enough to see, between these 2 points here. So we might even have this touching here. I don't know, it might move that much. I doubt it, but we'll see. And we've got a camera on the outside looking at that as well. So this is going to be trying to be as controlled of an experiment as possible, but it's going to mean doing things 5 times if we do it perfectly. So we'll see. It should make a decent difference. So the thing that I've not showed, we've only just unpacked it. I don't know why it's covered in cocaine, but it is what it is. The Superpro front anti-roll bar, which looks quite easy to fit. So we're going to try and just do that quickly while we're doing all this stuff. So we'll see how we get on with that one. I did slacken off all the bolts beforehand, but I've not actually took it off and done it. So we'll see. We'll figure that out anyway. It will definitely easier with wheels off, but I'll sort it. It's no problem. So the other thing, just noteworthy, while we've got a camera looking underneath it, where there should be a spare wheel and a spare wheel strapped in the back. So this is just a cheap tyre that I got. It was the cheapest tyre I could find, a decent brand in that size. It was just on eBay, the Pirelli sort of all season, whatever tyre. The reason I chose that size, 255, 65, 19, and it's on a BMW wheel as well, just so fitment's the same if we get spigots and stuff like that. Just the cheapest way of getting a 19-inch spare, really. The reason I've got that is that's just over 32-inch, I think 32.1-inch overall diameter. And the wheels that are on this at the minute are 32-inch. The standard spare is only 30-inch in diameter, or 29.5, and the standard wheels were 30-inch. That's why you can't drive at more than 50 miles an hour, because you've actually got a smaller tyre on than what you've got. But I don't think 2.5 inches is way too much to be driving any length of time. So we want to get that fitted. But to get that fitted, the roll bar is very close to get a 32-inch tyre. If you get just less, be absolutely fine. But you're just about touching the roll bar bolt, so I'd have to take the wheel off to flip that around, and that'd solve that problem. But then the other problem is you're hard up against the exhaust here. So that's creating me another problem. I'm going to have to put a side exit exhaust on as well if I want that spare wheel. But it's more important to me to have a spare wheel of the right size than it is to have the exhaust coming out underneath. We'll just stick it outside somewhere. But that's another video. We'll deal with all that in its sense. I'll get rid of that. Sick of seeing that. Go away. I'll get this stuff out. Let's go on the road. So, first test, just the bushes. No roll bars. Empty. I'll go over the bumpy bits first. Straight away, I can feel in the steering, not massively, it's very subtle. I don't think most people would notice it or care, but those steering bushes, almost far saying they're making it sharp because they weren't damaged before. I know Rob fitted some to his 2-litre. That made a massive difference on his because his were absolutely dead and it failed MOT, well, advisory on MOT. Right quality, I don't feel any different, which when you're normally fitting some polyurethane bushes, you normally notice a decent increase in noise, vibration and harshness, as the OEMs would call it. That feels this way. this test is going to be for the rear roll bar as well. Yeah, I think overall that feels good. Glad we've managed to get the alignment settings back into factory spec. That's a big thing. I only drove it once with the camber in positive, it drove like crap. So if you've got a lifted truck, you definitely need to put at least those top bushers in. So have a look on the website in the description. Definitely buy them. That feels good. Yeah, definitely no harsher. A little bit sharper at steering. You can probably feel vibrations a tiny bit more through the steering than you did before. But there's one thing about these Amaroks which I found in the snow as well. Having a little bit more feel in the steering is not a bad thing, because it was shocking. In the snow you didn't know you were sliding towards something until you hit it usually. You just had very little feeling, which our on tyres were probably not the best as well, a little bit bald. But anyway, so the roll test. I've got no plans on what we're going to do for this, so I'm making this up as I go along. It needs to be something repeatable, so we'll go around this roundabout. Try and get up to 30. Traction control's not happy at 30. Well, I don't need to. Wonder why this van just pulled out on me. Turn traction off. Where am I in? Turn traction control off. Don't want that interfering. I'll try and get back up to 30 then. Can't do 30. Rolling about a fair bit. I'll turn that traction control back on. See if it's not happy with that. Tons of body roll. So let's go put the rear roll bar link back on. See what difference that makes. Bar is on. Let's see if I can do 30 miles an hour without it. Traction control kicking in. Ride don't feel any harder. Definitely feels like it's not rolling. Yeah, the only traction control is still trying to kick in. Turning off. Feels like I got a lot more control. Obviously, I can't go to the limits of the grip, otherwise I'm getting in trouble. But yeah, that does feel a ton better. I'd like to see the footage back before I make any rash judgments. But yeah, that is a ton better, and it will probably 20, 24. 25 mile an hour before traction were kicking in before, and it was definitely like 28, 29 just before 30 when it was kicking in that time. to make a difference, but I feel like it's probably the front end scrubbing out, washing out, which obviously is influenced by the rear, but not as much as when you've not got a lot of camber. It's the front roll and that's the problem. So really happy with that though. I hope it looks like it makes as much difference as it does, because it feels really, really good. So we'll get the front on, and I've never tried one with the front because we only put a rear on Keith, so I would like to see what difference that makes. Yeah, massive difference. I know it only took me 2 seconds to fit that length, but it's only probably 20-minute, half an hour job to fit the roll bar itself if you've already got it in the workshop. So yeah, really good. Really happy. Let's get that front roll bar fitted. I'm hoping there's no swearing this time. We'll see where it goes. So, tools, 18mm shallot, 14mm spline, extension if you want one, 18mm spanner, 18mm ratchet spanner. Then you just needed them to squash the bushes on, but it made it a lot easier just using a longer bolt for the bottom one and just push it on and away you go. So it's on. Let's see what diameter it is. So that's 30, and the original's here, that's 28, so as long as we ain't got a millimetre thick powder coat extra on that one, 2mm more anti-roll bar, see what difference it makes. Obviously the rear never had one from start, so it should make a big difference. So the front roll bar is on. Again, shouldn't make any difference really to ride quality. Maybe if you hit potholes rock hard with stupid speed, it might feel it a bit more because it's going to pull the car a bit. But usually roll bars are cheap, easy, no downsides. See if it makes any difference to the roundabout test. About the same really. Just surprising. Tyres, I think, mate, as we said before. Feels pretty good. Didn't expect a massive difference. 2mm compared to fitting a roll bar in a place where it never had one is not going to make as much difference. So, although the front one's very easy to fit, it's going to make a massive difference. But the next job, which will make the biggest difference, it'll be to test this when it's got some loading. So we'll be doing things probably backwards really. Oh, Danny might tell me otherwise, but we'll get some weight banged in it, and we'll see what difference, how it feels when the roll bar's disconnected at the rear. I don't think the front's going to make tons of difference to the weight in the back. Let's see. So this test is all the anti-roll bars are on. I've not put any extra pressure in the bags because I don't want that to skew the test. But then what we'll do after this, I'll pull the roll bar off, and then you'll be able to get to see how much of a difference this makes. But it should be quite pronounced. The pallet that's in the back, pallet of blocks, weighs about a ton. I probably could do another 30 psi, maybe 40 psi in them rear airbags, and probably another 10 psi in back tyres. I'm only running 35 in the back. So, oh god, it looks so busy on roads. Symphony and ASOS kicking out time. I don't think I'll be able to get to the 30. Might be able to get to 30, but it'd be a bit sketchy if somebody pulls out. Can't even get to 25, and it starts understeering. Still like a boat with this much in the back. I absolutely am not looking forward to doing this without the roll bar, and I dread to think how bad this is going to be. But it feels dangerous, but it definitely doesn't feel like you want to go racing with a ton pallet in the back. So we'll disconnect that roll bar. Tell that's it back. Dear me. So we're out with the roll bar disconnected now. Not looking forward to this at all. I can hear a little bit of clunking from front CVs, so I'm assuming when your back's this far down, you don't like being that high at the front. So anyway, I'm not going to tip into this roundabout too fast, because 25 mile an hour on the steering last time. Like 20. 22, 23. Can't do any more than that without the roll bar on, so it's a couple of mile an hour difference. My goodness. Yeah, that's not ideal. Makes a big difference. Definitely makes a big difference. You had to avoid somebody now. Don't get me wrong, you could tell you got it on before. That makes a massive difference. I think I need to pump them bags up. I'll put them bags up. this back together, make sure it's all alright. Let's see what's going on with them front CVs, which is another job ain't got time for. But a few people did say don't jack them up too high, but you're going to kill the front CVs. They are quite short, the dry shafts. We're about to pump them bags up. Get another test. Hello? Yeah. So, just been out in it with the weight in, the roll bar connected, and it felt a little bit sketchy. It's got a lot of weight quite far back. But then I just get to the roll bar and immediately obvious. Hopefully on the footage you can see it's like a massive difference in how it behaves. It just feels totally different, even just getting up to speed. I don't know, weird, especially when you're turning. Like, even steady, not even turning harshly. So, which you can tell by from the in-car footage. So the only other test I've not done, which I weren't planning on doing, but sort of realised as we're going along, with this weight in the back, you would if you'd not got air ride, but you'd definitely pump the tyres up a bit more. And to have this much weight, really, you could do with air ride anyway. So we'll pump the air ride up, pump the tyres up, we'll put the roll bar link back on, and then we can go through all the footage. And if anything's not been explained well or clear, I'll try and do a summary if I can, but not often we get a chance to do that on a video. But what I will say from driving it now, the air assist, for how cheap it is, if you're carrying a lot of weight in the back, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. The rear anti-roll bar, same again. It makes a massive difference when you're unlading on the handling and just feels a lot more secure when you've got the weight in. The front roll bar, probably a little bit frivolous, didn't really need it, but again, why not? It's not a big job to fit if you're having them both done at the same time. Probably 3 hours labour would cover it, including road testing, getting on the ramp, doing whatever, so it's not a big job. And if you're lifting it, the front, at least the front top bushers, all the others, if they're worn out, good idea, definitely steering ones. So this might be the end of the video, this might be the summary. I don't know, we'll see. So, the final road test now. I don't want to do any more. I've been driving this car, doing this same little circuit too many times today. So we've got 51, 52 PSI in the airbags, 52 I think in the rear tyres, which is about where we'd want to be if we're fully laden and a trailer on. So we've gone sort of to the top of where we're going to be. And it definitely feels less soggy on the back. Just going over these little bumps, yeah, massive difference there. So I think we're going to see a noticeable difference. I think I'll be turning traction control off. That's 25 miles better. There, 25. It's wanting to kick in now, but that won't. Much better. Soggy tyres. You can definitely tell you've got this weight in. But, yeah. Drives a lot better. So the tyre pressures and the airbags are making probably not the biggest difference to the roll, but the biggest difference to the feel. A lot less soggy, feels a bit more planted, especially in the longitudinal acceleration braking situation. So hopefully this video's been interesting, enlightening and watchable. That's the main thing. But I think we've got a little bit of checking to do on that front lift. I think we might have gone a little bit extreme. We can drop it down to 10 mil or something on the front. That should stop it being so nappy. So I should run over all these children.